A very good day to Madam Rowell Raisin. So today I will be presenting for my research project. So the title for my research is the college student perception towards the importance of collaborative learning in online classes. So the online learning is a type of education in which students learn in a completely virtual setting, while the collaborative learning is extremely vital and important among students, especially when it comes to online education. This is due to the fact that collaborative learning can undoubtedly assist or help students in completing their tasks well and quickly when compared to doing the activity or the task um, alone. For the background, this collaborative learning prepares students for the workplace of the 21st century by teaching them how to exchange ideas, voice opinion, and manage time. Many researchers have pointed out the importance of helping learners develop the skill related to teamwork, uncertainty, and collaborative knowledge construction, all associated with collaborative learning. Okay, so for the problem statement for by my research is the first one is how the effective the collaborative learning in online classes for students in terms of completing a task, assignment, and during discussion. And the second one is what are the real world application or advantages of collaborative learning in an online class for students. Okay, so for the research objective. The objective for this research is to determine the student perception towards the importance of collaborative learning approach in online classes. And the second one is to find the variable which influence the student perception in collaborative learning in online classes. And the last one is to identify the student perception about the differences between the collaborative learning and the individual learning. So moving on to the research question, there are three research questions, which is what are the student perception towards the importance of collaborative learning approach in online classes, and the second one is what are the impacts if students emphasize the collaborative learning for their online classes, and the last one is what are the barriers in order to succeed the collaborative learning among students. Now for the conceptual framework. So the independent variable is the college student, and the dependent variable is the importance of collaborative learning in online classes for college students. Okay, so for the literature review, there are 5 articles that I chose for this research, which the first one is the affordances of wiki spaces for collaborative learning and knowledge management. And the second one is implementing teleconferencing for pre-service English teacher training and collaborative learning. The third one is computer-mediated collaborative learning within a communicative language teaching approach, a socio-cultural perspective. Does an open forum promote learning among students? A collaborative learning approach and the role of social networks in supporting collaborative e-learning based on connectivism, their theory among students of PNU. For the research design, I use the quantitative research design for this research. The quantitative research is the procedure for gathering and interpreting numerical information. It can be used to look for patterns and averages, make prediction, test causal linkage, and extrapolate results to larger groups. For the sampling method, I use the random sampling method. A random sampling method is the sampling strategy in which each sample has an equal chance of being chosen is known as a random sampling. So for the research instrument, I use the Google form in order to create the question about the collaborative learning in online classes. And I also use the WhatsApp and Telegram, which is the online chat or platform, and I share the link for the Google form to the group chat so that they can share it to the others and gain more respondents to answer the question in the Google form. For the data collection procedure, a quantitative survey instrument was used in this descriptive research. The participants were asked to respond to each item as 1 for strongly disagree, 2 for disagree, 3 for neutral, 4 is agree, and the last one is 5 is strongly agree, in which a higher score means stronger agreement. Okay, so for data analysis procedure, each survey question response will be imported into SPSS using the Google form, and the entire data for each question will be plotted in the SPSS interface. The aggregate mean score, which the AMS is a statistical tool for analyzing the data. So actually, I have a three method that I use for this analysis procedure, which is the standard deviation, skewness and kurtosis, and the last one is Cron-Batch alpha. For the chapter 4, the finding in this research shows that the women between the ages of 18 and 25 made up the majority of those who responded to the survey. In addition, students from different courses from the first to seventh semester responded in this questionnaire. So actually this survey is broken up into four sections, which is including the demographic question about the value of collaborative learning approach in online classes, the factors that affect your perception of collaborative learning in online classes, and the differences between the collaborative learning and the individual learning. So in the end of this finding shows that the collaborative learning in online classroom had a favorable or the positive impact on the student online learning according to their responses, which were well received by the respondents or their students. Okay, next for the chapter 5, which the discussion of findings. So here it showed the virtual or online collaborative learning have the ability to keep students involved in online courses, foster a feeling community, and provide opportunities for them to develop virtual cooperation abilities. And the findings also reveal that students from different courses have a similar opinion about their perception of collaborative learning in online learning. This respondent or this student which from the different college or institution, some student or responder are hesitant to participate in collaborative learning, which perhaps they prefer individual learning to teacher led training. So actually this research also designed to encourage students, particularly college students, to use collaborative learning in online classroom at any educational institution. This because that incorporating collaborative learning into an online courses shows that it can improve the student performance. Finally, this study also or this research are actually focusing on student perception about the collaborative learning in online classes, which they're investigating how students perceive the collaborative activities or learning in online classroom. So actually there are three primary constructs were given and explored using the community of inquiry paradigm. The three elements of an online learning community is like a social presence, cognitive presence, and teaching presence were captured using the terms like a perceive per interaction, perceived learning, and also the perceived structure. Okay, now for the conclusion. So actually the collaborative learning in online classes are actually gives a student a higher order thinking, oral communication, self-management, and leadership abilities are all developed, which the interaction between student and the teachers is encouraged, and attention, self-esteem, and responsibility among have all improved. This study is actually aimed for determine the student perception towards the importance of collaborative learning approach in online classes, because it is to find the variable which influence the student perception in collaborative learning in online classes, and identify the student perception about the differences between the collaborative learning and the individual learning. So on the other hand, I think one of the advantages when we using or utilizing the collaborative learning in online learning is that online collaborative learning may directly assist or help to development of a variety of high-level intellectual abilities such as critical thinking, analytical thinking, synthesis, and also the evaluation, which are crucial prerequisites for digital age learners. So to conclude, actually there are many of the benefits and drawbacks of when we are utilizing or using the collaborative learning, applicable in both face-to-face and the online mode. It might be claimed that there is no or little difference between well-conducted traditional classroom, discussion-based education, and online collaborative learning. So once again, the means of distribution is less significant than the design concept, which can be applied to both scenarios. It is true that either predicum can be conducted synchronously or asynchronously at a distance or face to face. So I think that's all from me for my research project. So thank you very much.